Hello and a very good morning. You're watching the Breakfast News on Rajya Sabha television with me, Frank Pereira. Here are this morning's headlines. Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs to meet on last day of monsoon session. A special short session of both houses likely if GST bill does not clear Rajya Sabha today. Negotiations for the purchase of Rafale fighter jets from France runs into rough weather. Sources say talks stuck over two issues. NCP pulls out of the Grand Alliance in Bihar over seat sharing. JDU, RJD and the Congress announced poll formula. 17 people have been killed and over 300 injured after massive explosions in a chemical goods warehouse in North China. And Saina Nehwal storms into the pre-quarterfinals of the World Badminton Championship in Jakarta. Well, the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs will meet today. Talk of a short special session of Parliament has gained ground ahead of this meeting as it is the last day of the monsoon session, which has been a virtual washout. There is speculation that the government may call a short special session of both houses of Parliament to pass the GST bill if it is not passed today. Now, the meeting is also significant as the land ordinance issued for the third time last month will expire on August 31st. And if the government wants to reissue it for a record fourth time to maintain continuity, one of the houses will have to be prorogued to keep the ordinance alive, as was done after the budget session earlier. Meanwhile, the crucial GST bill was stalled in the Rajya Sabha for the second day on Wednesday. The bill could not be taken up amid the standoff over BJP ministers and the confrontation paralyzed business of the House. Here's a report.
Lalit Gate Rao and the silence of the Prime Minister. The opposition cornered the government on several issues in the upper house on the penultimate day of the monsoon session. Business, especially the key reform bill on GST, was once again the casualty. The Congress stepped up the heat on the government on the corruption allegations when the House resumed on Wednesday.
From the day one of this session, when it comes to fixing accountability and taking action, that's why the opposition has been giving these motions, notice for motions. If it is cabinet minister, it has to be the prime minister. It cannot be anybody else.
The government also continued its counter-offensive against the Congress. It blamed the opposition of trying to stall the development of the country.
आपने बार-बार मोशन को अलाउ किया, डिस्कशन को अलाउ किया, डिबेट को अलाउ किया, but unfortunately ये तैयार ही नहीं है.
In the post-lunch session, the chair urged the protesting members to take up the GST bill.
This GST is your bill. It is a baby of your congressman. It is your bill.
But the impasse continued, forcing the chair to adjourn the House for the day. Kriti Mishra's report for Rajya Sabha TV.
Joining me for a chat this morning to talk about all the likelihoods in Parliament is Yatish Rajawat, former group editor, Dainik Bhaskar Group. Very good morning, Yatish. Thank you for joining me on the program. You know, the Cabinet Committee on Parliamentary Affairs is going to meet today, and there's a lot of, talk about how there could be a special session of Parliament sometime later on in between this session and the winter session of Parliament if the GST bill is not passed in the Rajya Sabha today. Do you see that happening? Is that a high likelihood?
I think besides the likelihood, it is very important that it should happen. Because, you know, last week we did a we did the citizen engagement poll of around 2 lakh citizens to find out what is their perception of the impasse in Parliament. And the general perception among citizens is that because the Parliament is not functioning, it is actually leading to a situation where nothing is seeming to move forward. And this perception is very dangerous in an environment where countries like China are devaluing their currency, exports from India are suffering. If the GST bill does not get cleared, then there is actually no trigger for a forward momentum. So I would really hope that while the opposition can continue to raise its demands about the resignation of the External Affairs Minister and the Chief Ministers of Madhya Pradesh and Rajasthan, it is important that this special session of Parliament is allowed, and crucial bills like the GST bill, like the Mudra Bank bill, which directly affects our economy, where there is no counterpoint the opposition has in terms of their clearance, should be cleared.
You know, but what's to say that even in this special session, if and when it is held, that, you know, a similar situation will not prevail then?
You know, I think the opposition needs to be a little more responsible here and maybe divide the parliament time between the debate and discussion on Sushma Swaraj alleged involvement with Lalit Modi and the clearance of this bill. Maybe first half of parliament could be devoted clearly to passing this bill, and the second half of parliament could be devoted to these debates or this, you know, this adjournments and rushing into the well of the parliament.
Indeed. All right. Do stay with us, Yatish. I'm going to take your opinion on the next report as well. Now, the Lok Sabha saw some fireworks on Wednesday after the opposition was finally given a chance to discuss the Lalit Modi issue in Parliament. And as expected, the debate was loaded with political wrangling. Agreeing to a debate, External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj said she did no wrong and was just helping Lalit Modi's wife, who is a cancer patient, on humanitarian grounds. She also went on to launch a personal attack on the Gandhi family. Here are the details.
When the debate in Parliament on the controversial former IPL Commissioner Lalit Modi finally began, it was all that it promised to be. The motion moved by Congress was at first rejected by the Speaker before External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj requested Sumitra Mahajan to admit it as it is. Appealing that the Prime Minister be present in the House during the debate, Mallikarjun Kharge said any help to a fugitive, even on humanitarian grounds, has to be given within the ambit of the law.
Foreign Affairs Minister का कर्तव्य था कि अगर किसी का पासपोर्ट अगर कैंसल हुआ और वो एक इकोनॉमिक ऑफेंडर है, वो विदेश में रहता है, उसके ऊपर ब्लू कॉर्नर नोटिस है, तो क्यों आप अपील में नहीं गए? मैं पूछना चाहता हूं.
When the Congress leader started talking of Rajasthan Chief Minister Vasundhara Raje in his speech, objections were raised.
उनमें से एक श्रीमती वसुंधरा राजे थी. उन्होंने दिए गए इस पत्र में
Following the uproar, Lok Sabha was adjourned till 2 p.m.
The House stands adjourned to meet again.
When the House reconvened, Congress chief Sonia Gandhi made a rare dash into the well to join her colleagues as they protested.
No point of order.
On resumption, Sushma was at her defensive best. She denied having any conflict of interest in helping Lalit Modi, saying her husband and daughter had not accepted any money as legal fees from the cricket tycoon. And then she launched a caustic attack on the Gandhis.
सुषमा स्वराज ने कोई काम छुप छुप के नहीं किया. अगर छुप छुप के किया तो क्वात्रोची को भगाने का तुमने किया. अगर छुप छुप के कोई काम किया तो राजीव गांधी की सरकार में एंडरसन को भगाने का काम किया.
Replying to the External Affairs Minister's barb, Congress Vice President Rahul Gandhi gave a spirited speech in Lok Sabha, questioning Sushma over the help she gave to Lalit Modi.
हमने सुषमा जी से दो सवाल पूछे हैं. पहला सवाल था कितना पैसा मिला, जो ब्लैक मार्क, जो काला धन है, उसका जो चिन्ह है, उसको बचाने के लिए कितना पैसा मिला. और दूसरा सवाल, आपने ये काम छुप के क्यों किया?
For the government, Finance Minister Arun Jaitley replied to the debate. He said there was no strength in the Congress's argument, adding that the party had no evidence to back its claims.
The allegation against Sushma ji is, on a day when there was no arrest warrant against him, there was no criminal case against him, there were FEMA proceedings pending against him. He made some request, right or wrong, and she carefully told the High Commissioner that this is not a question of international relationship. You deal with it under your law. he became liable for arrest on a non-bailable warrant on the 5th of August 2015.
The Congress party has accused Sushma Swaraj of misusing her office to help Lalit Modi get urgent travel papers last year. The party insists that the minister resign on moral grounds. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Coming back to you now, Yatish, what did you make of the debate held in the Lok Sabha yesterday? More importantly, Sushma Swaraj's defense, and how does it impact really the Congress's strategy going forward?
Sushma in her defense did two things. One, she's tried to kind of raise this whole woman issue and trying to help a woman in distress. Besides the emotional content and the shrill defense that she put up, she also attacked the Gandhi family directly by saying that, they helped both Kotrachi in the Bofors issue and Warren Anderson of, in Bhopal in getting away for the Bhopal gas tragedy. So attack is the best form of defense in most cases where you don't have a credible line of argument. And that's what she has adopted here. She also, we need to be very careful. She used the term that my family or my husband or my daughter has not taken any money from Lalit Modi in this case. So she's saying that in this particular case where his passport was to be involved, the family has not taken any money. So that means that leaves the option of whether the family or her husband has been involved in representing and taking money for representing in those cases for Lalit Modi in other cases. Now this is the issue which is at the heart of the matter, because this is what the opposition is trying to show as quid pro quo, that the lawyer husband represents Lalit Modi. He collects fees, and the representative of the government, which a member of parliament, an external affairs minister, does favors to appease the same person. Now, if this argument goes forward and they say that, he might not have taken money in this case, but he's been taking money and he's been a continuous counsel to Lalit Modi for X period of time, and this is the amount of money that he has taken. This argument can go on and on then.
Yes.
We won't see the end of it.
Indeed.
So that's where we are at this period, Frank. And unfortunate to say the least, because this could have, this counterpoint and argument could very well happen outside Parliament, and they could trade charges on this. But I would really hope that the Parliament functions to clear the crucial bills.
Indeed, indeed. Very quickly now, before I let you go now, what kind of an impact is this adjournment motion debate going to have between the opposition benches and between the Treasury benches? Do you think that this debate has further divided the two sides?
So there are two things which has happened in the last 3 days, Frank, as you are aware. One is that the other parties, Mulayam Samajwadi Party, has distanced itself from the main opposition.
Yes.
So there are chances that the combined opposition attack may disintegrate a little bit, but that does not mean I don't see Congress giving up this particular issue. I see them taking this much more forward and more vociferously, especially after Rahul Gandhi's speech, where he was very clear that he wants to keep hitting on the same point, that there has been a quid pro quo, money has been taken.
Indeed. All right, Yatish Rajawat, we'll have to leave it at that. Thank you so much for joining us on the program this morning and putting things into perspective for us. Well, let's take a quick look now at the stories likely to make news through the course of the day in our segment, The Day Ahead. In a first ministerial trip after Iran struck a nuclear deal, its Foreign Minister Jawad Zarif will visit India, during which he will call on Prime Minister Narendra Modi and hold talks with his Indian counterpart Sushma Swaraj. The visit comes in the backdrop of Iran inviting Indian investments of about $8 billion in infrastructure projects. The Bombay High Court will pronounce its judgment today on Nestle's appeal against the food regulator FSI's ban on Maggi noodles. Nestle argued that food regulator had not served any notice before passing the order of ban. Today's order will put an end to the long-drawn legal tussle between Nestle India and food authorities of India, Maharashtra and the centre. A protest led by Uttarakhand Congress leaders will begin from today. Leaders are to protest outside the residence of former Chief Minister and BJP MP Ramesh Pokhriyal, demanding right and justice for their state. Besides, the Congress workers will also hold protests against the union ministers when they visit Uttarakhand. Well, it's time for a short break now, but still to come. Indo-French talks on purchase of Rafale jets have run into rough weather. Details on the other side. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Tales that inspire, stories of social change. A salute to diversity, promoting public discourse. Events that motivate, inspiring the innovative spirit. Watch Rajya Sabha television documentaries every Friday at 10:30 p.m, Saturday 12:30 p.m, and Sunday at 1 p.m. Get live Rajya Sabha session. News, views, reports and analysis you can trust on social media. Subscribe, follow, like Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, the anti-BJP alliance in poll-bound Bihar suffered a setback with Sharad Pawar's NCP deciding to pull out after it was given a mere 3 seats out of a total 243 seats. This after the mega alliance of the JDU, RJD and the Congress formally unveiled their seat-sharing plan. While both JDU and the RJD will contest on 100 seats each, the Congress will fight for 40.
After months of deliberations and several rounds of talks, the much-touted mega alliance or Mahagathbandhan of the JDU, RJD and the Congress announced their seat-sharing formula in Bihar on Wednesday. The announcement was made at a joint press conference by Bihar Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad and Congress's Bihar in charge CP Joshi. According to the formula, both RJD and JDU will contest 100 seats each, while the junior partner in the alliance, Congress, will fight 40 seats.
सहमति के आधार पर 100 सीट राष्ट्रीय जनता दल, 100 सीट जनता दल यूनाइटेड और 40 सीट कांग्रेस लड़ेगी। हम लोगों को इस बात की उम्मीद है कि अन्य दल जैसे एनसीपी हम लोगों के साथ आएंगे।
RJD Supremo Lalu Prasad said the combination will put all their chips into the polls to stop the BJP.
हम लोग पूरी मजबूती के साथ खेत से लेकर खलिहान तक भारतीय जनता पार्टी को, आरएसएस को चुनाव में, एक चुनाव हो रहा है, चुनाव बिहार का चुनाव नहीं, यह देश का चुनाव हो रहा है।
The first united show of the Grand Alliance will be held at Gandhi Maidan in Patna on the 30th of August. The mega rally is being termed the Bihar Swabhiman Rally.
महागठबंधन की जो प्रथम रैली 30 तारीख को गांधी मैदान में होगी, उसमें कांग्रेस पार्टी का नेतृत्व भाग लेगा।
The BJP, however, remains unfazed by the announcement of seat sharing or the rally. Its leaders are confident that the people of Bihar will vote for change.
दोनों एक दूसरे को ठग रहे हैं, दोनों एक दूसरे को बेवकूफ बना रहे हैं और दोनों साथ में बैठ के बिहार की जनता को भी ठगने का कोशिश कर रहे हैं।
elections in Bihar are due later this year, but battle lines have already been drawn. For the newfound RJD-JDU Congress alliance, it's a battle of survival, while for the BJP, at stake is Prime Minister Narendra Modi's popularity. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
Moving on now, the ongoing Indo-French negotiations for the purchase of 36 Rafale fighter jets has run into rough weather. Defense sources said one of the main stumbling blocks was the offset clause that India is insisting on, something which the French says will drive up the cost of the aircraft. Offset policy requires a foreign company to invest back a portion of the deal into India. Another issue is the IAF seeking modifications on the Rafale so that a particular set of weapons could be integrated in the Rafale. This too will drive up the cost. Prime Minister Narendra Modi had, during his visit to France, announced his decision to buy 36 Rafale fighter jets. The announcement had come as a boost to the modernization plan of the IAF, as the original deal of 126 Rafale jets through a tendering process was stuck for years. Well, let's take a look now at some other national news in Nationwide. Congress President Sonia Gandhi interacted with party MPs at a dinner hosted on Wednesday by her on the penultimate day of the monsoon session of Parliament, which has been a virtual washout. The dinner meeting came against the backdrop of the party's campaign for the ouster of External Affairs Minister Sushma Swaraj in the wake of the Lalit Modi controversy. The Election Commission has urged all states and union territories to work towards ensuring error-free electoral rolls in the country. Chief Election Commissioner Naseem Zaidi, during a two-day conference of Chief Electoral Officers, said new global technology should be harnessed to empower Indian voters and make the elections free, fair and transparent. Tibetan Prime Minister in exile Lobsang Sangye is going to contest the upcoming elections. This is the fourth official announcement of nomination after Tashi Wangdu, Lukar Jam and Pempa Sering. The preliminary elections for Tibetan Prime Minister in exile and members of the 16th Tibetan Parliament is fixed for October 18, 2015. The final election will be held on the 20th of March 2016. Well, it's time now for another quick break, but coming up on the other side, the Swedish prosecutors might drop investigations into the sexual assault charges against Julian Assange. That and other international news on the other side. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.
Get live Rajya Sabha session. News, views, reports and analysis you can trust on social media. Subscribe, follow, like Rajya Sabha Television.
Welcome back. You're watching Rajya Sabha Television. Well, massive explosions rocked China's northern city of Tianjin, killing at least 17 people. Chinese state media said that explosions took place inside a warehouse which stores chemical goods. Chinese President Xi Jinping has ordered authorities to quickly extinguish the fire. Rescue operations are on in full swing.
A wave of explosions ripped through the industrial area of northeast Chinese port city of Tianjin. At least 17 dead, over 300 injured. Videos from the scene showed a blinding blast of light and thick smoke that sent fireballs shooting across the sky. State media says the first explosion took place in a warehouse which stored dangerous chemical goods. It triggered further explosions which sent shockwaves across the city, hitting buildings, causing panic among the people. Several tower blocks near the port area are without power. Chinese President Xi Jinping has urged all-out efforts to rescue victims and contain the fire. Rescue operations are on full swing. Nearly 100 fire engines are on the blast spot. Among the dead were also 4 firefighters who came for the rescue. The magnitude of the first explosion was equivalent to detonating 3 tons of TNT, while the second was equivalent to 21 tons of explosive, says the China Earthquake Network Center. Bureau Report, Rajya Sabha TV.
And a major relief for the WikiLeaks founder, Julian Assange. The Swedish prosecutors might drop investigations into the sexual assault charges against him because of the statutes of limitation running out after 5 years. Several charges against Assange are due to expire later this week. He is still under asylum in the Ecuadorian embassy in London. Under Swedish law, charges cannot be laid without interrogating the suspect. One accusation of sexual molestation expires later in the day, while another will run out on August 18th. However, he still faces allegation of rape, which is not due to expire until 2020. Assange, meanwhile, has denied all allegations, saying that it's part of a smear campaign against him. Let's take a look now at some other international stories in our World Wrap. The US has launched its first manned airstrike from a Turkish airbase after the country gave a go-ahead for it. US military officials confirmed that the coalition had also launched flying unmanned missions against Islamic State early during this month. However, Turkish fighter jets were not involved in Wednesday's strikes. An Islamic State ally group in Egypt has published a photograph which shows the beheaded body of a Croatian hostage whom they had threatened to kill last week. Croatia is examining the image even though there is no confirmation as yet. Tomislav Salopek was taken as a hostage 3 weeks ago as a terrorist group demanded Egypt to free jailed Muslim women. At least 31 people were killed in Syria as government forces bombarded the rebel-held areas with airstrikes. Insurgents hit back by firing rockets which killed nearly 13 people. The violence came ahead of Iranian Foreign Minister Javad Zarif's visit to Damascus. Both Assad and Zarif will discuss plans to resolve the ongoing civil war. Pakistani security forces have foiled an Independence Day bomb plot by Taliban. Pak military said that militants had been planning to detonate a van loaded with explosives in Karachi. Pakistan is celebrating its Independence Day on Friday. A state of emergency continues in Ferguson as situation still remains tense after protests of the black teenager Michael Brown turned violent on Sunday. Police continue to patrol the streets. However, there is relative calm. Officials said that the emergency is expected to continue for one more day. Moving on to some sports news now. Indian badminton ace and world number 2 Saina Nehwal stormed into the pre-quarterfinals of the World Badminton Championships, which is currently underway in Jakarta, Indonesia. Saina comfortably secured a straight games victory and overcame Hong Kong's Chung Nang-yi 21-13, 21-9 in a second-round match. India's double specialists Jwala Gupta and Ashwini Ponnappa also kept the Indian flag high as they won their second-round contest 21-10, 21-18 against Chinese Taipei's duo of Si Pei Chen and Wu Ti-jung. Other Indians in the men's singles fray too brought cheer to India. Kidambi Srikanth and H.S. Pranoy also made it to the pre-quarterfinals with straight-game victories against their opponents respectively. However, Parupalli Kashyap has been knocked out of the tournament as he lost his game to Nguyen Tien Min of Hong Kong in the second round. Some more sports news now. On to the first test between India and Sri Lanka. At goal, Indian captain Virat Kohli and opener Shikhar Dhawan put together a 100-run partnership after early losses in the first test against Sri Lanka. At stumps on day one, India posted 128 for the loss of 2 wickets. India lost Lokesh Rahul and Rohit Sharma cheaply after bowling out Sri Lanka for 183 in the first innings. Off-spinner Ravichandran Ashwin took 6 wickets for 46 runs to leave the hosts in tatters on day one of the test match. He was supported by leg spinner Amit Mishra, who took 2 wickets. Ishant Sharma and Varun Aaron took 1 apiece. For Sri Lanka, captain Angelo Matthews was the top scorer with 64 runs. His stand with wicketkeeper Dinesh Chandimal helped Lanka to post a total in excess of 150.
Off the edge. That's dropped.
For all the other overnight sports news, here's our sports beat. Indian mixed recurve team of Mangal Singh Champia and Deepika Kumari stormed into the final of the Archery World Cup. Both players have at least assured themselves a medal in the tournament. The third seeds will now take on lower-ranked Mexican pair of Juan Rene Serrano and Aida Roman in the final on Sunday. President of the anti-doping agency WADA, Craig Reedy, has defended the current anti-doping procedures taken by the IAAF, responding to recent media revelations of hundreds of abnormal test results in recent years. Reedy said that the allegations do not stand up scientifically or legally. The WADA head said that cheats are caught. Cristiano Ronaldo, Lionel Messi and Luis Suarez have been nominated for the Best Player in Europe award by UEFA. Real Madrid's Ronaldo and the Barcelona pair of Messi and Suarez were voted for by journalists from each of UEFA's 54 member associations. Costa Rica coach Paulo Wanchop was involved in a brawl during an Olympic qualifier against Panama on Tuesday. Video footage shows that Wanchop, who was observing the match between the respective countries' under-23 teams, was shown to retaliate after being pushed by a man. Several security guards then intervened to pull them apart. Well, that's it on this edition of the Bulletin. Have a nice day.